All right, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to show you some results and some interesting findings from putting up a lot of rapid affiliate style websites using different types of tools and so forth, and give you some of the insights and the things that I've actually seen. Now, in this page right here, I just want to show you this is a affiliate website that I had started some time ago. You could see here the data about January of 22. And I started this one kind of as a quick side project. Again, it was one of those sites where I was really into kind of putting up some volume here and trying to see what sticks. And this one in particular, you could see here as time went on, there wasn't a whole lot that was happening. It was getting some impressions. Again, nothing to scoff at. It was getting about 100 impressions a day here. And then over time, as we could see here right around October of 2022, there was a Google update here, and all of a sudden the site started really taking off. And as you can see now, where we're at about May 25th of this year, we're getting about 1,500 impressions a day, 18 or so clicks a day, and this site is producing some good affiliate sales. So it took a little bit more than a year on this one, and of course I don't say that that's going to be in every case, but a lot of people are being told that you can get sites off the ground like extraordinarily fast and get them ranked, and that's not really happening unless you've got some powerful expired domains and links and so forth. This kind of seems to be the norm here. And I think this obviously could have come a little bit faster, but this is just what it is now, and I'm going to use this as a demo. But you could see this nice slow increase in traffic over time. Now this site in particular, if you want to know what I was doing, I was using the method which I had talked about previously for building affiliate websites using a basic template, filling it out, making it look decent, and actually taking YouTube content and transcribing the videos and actually putting them on the page as posts. But what's important to note here, what I was doing with this is I was not actually, because there was no ChatGPT at the time, I was taking that transcript of the video and I was actually farming it out to a content writer for pretty cheap. And they were watching the video and writing a SEO-optimized blog post based upon what the video was saying. And so it was 100% human written, and you could see that it was starting to gain some pretty good amount of traction here. Now, throughout the course of this, nothing has really changed in terms of that content, same type of strategy, and it has continued to do well, and it does not appear to have been hit by any major Google penalties for the content that is being generated. So this site doesn't generate a whole ton. It's in a fairly competitive niche in the self-development realm. But look, just to give an example, it's oftentimes giving me $7, $8 ebook commissions when there's sales, just from sidebar links and some links throughout the content. And this month I just had about a $200 commission from a product that was sold. So we can imagine as time continues here, we're going to get more and more traffic. I am obviously going to put a lot more energy into this one, and it will produce some nice returns. Now, in comparison to that one, I'm going to show you another site or a couple of sites which did the complete opposite. Okay, so here's an example of a site that I had used the strategy on for YouTube. Throwing up the website, and this was really high volume, and what I was doing was just pulling YouTube videos in and using a AI GPT-3 based writer and was just hammering content. Now look at this all the way back here at January 27, and it was doing fairly well. It was putting along. This was generating some nice affiliate sales via Amazon, but it wasn't really getting much more than this per day. You could see how it was probably in the 600 because I was targeting super low volume keywords. But you could see what happened here over time is we started seeing things dipping, and then right there as that Google update hit, it just completely crashed. And it crashed and it did not recover, okay? So I've been unable to resuscitate this one using some certain things that I want to do, but now we have, at this point, probably thousands of posts on this particular website, and it is flatlined. So when we go over to the left sidebar and look for manual penalties, we don't see any, but clearly Google does not like what's going on here and has no longer want to show any of these URLs, okay? So this is an example of what happens during these updates is getting tanked if you're not doing certain things, which we will talk about. Okay, now this is an interesting one that I want to show you. Same type of strategy, but this is for a local business. So when we look at what's going on here, there's not a lot of impressions. Okay, we're getting about anywhere from as low as 25, sometimes up to 100 impressions a day. And this was taking videos, local business videos optimized for local services, and putting them on a URL and just using a little bit of filler content, not too much, but most of it was video based. And so there was not a lot of text underneath these videos at all. And look at the difference here. So this has, from January of 22 to about May of this year, it has dipped a little bit, but it has not taken that huge nosedive like we saw on the other videos. So what's the difference between these two? First of all, well, it's local, right? The other thing is there's not that much text content below the video. So this is super interesting when you look at this. This has been able to maintain its, relatively speaking, its staying power. And I have not done anything. I don't think I've posted anything on this one for at least 6 months. Okay, so interesting to note, the video strategy appears to be fine. It's the text below the video which seems to be making the biggest difference. Now, people are going to ask me about links, and we'll talk about that. But the linking strategy is not vastly different between these sites, but there are some additional things that I was doing on the ones that seem to be lasting versus the ones that were not. Okay, and we'll take a look at the bigger site that I maintain here. And this is a site that has been almost all exclusively manually written content, authoritative content, and long periods of time, or obviously was not doing too much with it because I was on other projects. But impressions and clicks very, very high. CTR is fairly decent here, but could always be better. But at this point, I want to make a specific note. Look at the Google updates, okay? And as the Google update has hit, not much has changed. Maybe a tad bit of a dip, but then it just kind of maintained itself. Now, in particular, I want to note that at about this time here, look at February 23. This is where we're starting to really push and utilize tools like ChatGPT. And I very, very slowly started rolling out changes because, again, I was very skeptical that we're going to get away with super high amounts of AI content without any problems. So here I would roll it out, and I would be partially using some ChatGPT-based content and AI writer content, but being cautious to make sure that I was manually editing it and that the quality maintained. It was maintained in good quality. So we could see here that there has been a nice, slow, gradual increase in the traffic. Okay, so we can again make some generalizations here of how video is being used versus the text, and manually editing it and maintaining quality on a site to slowly build it up over time to avoid any major penalties with Google updates. Okay, so one of the things that I want to highlight that I think was important in the process here was outsourcing certain services for the sites. If you don't know about Legiit, Legiit is a great marketplace, kind of an alternative, a much better version of like Fiverr, depending on who you hire on Upwork and so forth, but to outsource certain services. So I can give you the links to these, of course, below, so you can check out the services that were utilized. But one of them important, a couple of the important ones that I started with right off the bat was first and foremost making sure that I was syndicating the content to social media platforms and so forth. Because one of the signs that we're going to be looking at is showing that we're a legit website and that it has social media profiles and it's maintaining them, it's getting social traffic and clicks, etc. I think that's important. And so a couple of services I used right off the bat, which was creating social media profiles for brand. And that was one thing in particular that I was doing to establish some legitimacy, using branded foundation links for the site as well. And down here, you'll see this service, which I think was important as well, which is called IFTTT. It is a network that was designed using a content feed from your website or YouTube channel, and it would send all of those links to content and so forth and syndicate it amongst all these different social channels as well. So there's a couple of things that I did to make sure that I was getting some social signals and so forth that made the site look legit, and also to bolster it with some social traffic, which was important as well. Important to note also is that in particular, one of those successful sites had its own YouTube channel. It was branded for that site, and I was making videos for it. Those were the videos that were being embedded on the website and transcribed for content. And it was really, really easily done. I can break that down for you guys later, but I was just using most commonly asked questions in Google, and those questions were actually being turned into content pieces. And it did really well and is outranking some much more authoritative websites in that niche. Up here, you see I did some premium blog content. I just outsourced some writing here, and of course, creating some SEO-optimized content. These were the services that I was essentially outsourcing to get manually written content based on those YouTube videos. So I think this was clearly a very important part of the strategy, and these are fairly cheap things that you can do, but of course you could do this manually as well, or with updated AI writing, which is so much better these days. You might be able to use that as well, and that's what we're going to be testing here on this channel. Okay, so the brand new site project that I am putting together, which I'm actually going to walk through with you guys, and we're going to do it over the course of multiple videos as I lay this stuff out, and you can follow along in the amongst all of the other different types of videos that I'm putting out as well, is we're taking on the new project here. It's going to be javafinder.com. And what I've done is pick the niche of coffee and espresso and so forth. And we're going to be designing content. I'm going to be doing the same kind of format that I did with the previous sites that were actually doing well. And I'm going to do it again, step by step, only this time use a lot of different types of content creation. So I'm going to use some of those YouTube-based strategies, using transcripts and writing content from them. Also doing some manual writing, also using some ZimWriter writing and so forth, and AI images and so forth. And we're going to see how well this does trying to replicate that same process only with some of these brand new tools. So it'll be very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to do well as long as we always commit to maintain having good quality. But you can see here I've already written a couple of articles to look at. So right now, I'm going to start this process here. And of course, I urge you to follow the channel. Make sure you like this video, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so that every time I post a new video and updates on what's going on with the site, you get notified so you can check it out. So you can follow along as I'm making this affiliate-based website. So we can pretty much just kind of see how it goes, applying all of these new tools and figure things out along the way. So be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think about this process, what you want to see, and your predictions on what you think is going to happen. Thanks for watching.